Drew McIntyre has been pulled from live events ahead of Clash at the Castle. AEW have signed another former WWE star, and a popular figure has teased an AEW return. More on that later on. Yes, first of all, Ross, we're talking about Drew McIntyre, who unfortunately has been pulled from live events ahead of Clash at the Castle, according to ProWrestling.net's Jason Powell.
Yes, this is due to a lower back injury, although it will not affect his appearance in the premium live event at Clash at the Castle, hopefully. Where he's going to bring it home for England and Wales and the other bits.
Scotland,
yeah,
where he's from.
Aye.
ProWrestling.net say that they've learned the move is precautionary and that he is fully expected even still to work a Clash at the Castle, where of course he's challenging Roman Reigns.
Well, it's going to be interesting because he'll get physical on Friday's SmackDown. Of course, he took a 1D after being stalked a bit by Scarlett on SmackDown. So I don't know what to make of all of this. I guess he'd be precautionary rather than taking the Shayna Baszler approach,
right,
which is trying to injure her opponent more so her match gets called off at Clash at the Castle.
Yeah,
See how on SmackDown?
Yeah, that's a bit of an odd strategy. But I was going to say I was confused at first about the role that Karrion Kross is playing in all of this, because it's Drew versus Roman, we're building to that. But then I realised still a few weeks, like it's still a little while away. Yeah. So maybe Karrion Kross is just like a middle mini feud for Drew.
And the next challenger after this event, maybe Drew loses and Roman goes on to face Karrion Kross. I've got no idea.
Or Drew wins and goes on to face Karrion Kross.
That's the way it would. If you watch SmackDown, Drew's promos are very Roman heavy, but then it's also Karrion Kross has just got his attentions on Drew.
I'm confused how they're gonna, because I can't see this being the end of Roman's reign, but I also can't see Drew losing. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Is it going to just be for one of the belts?
I've got no idea.
I don't know either. If it is, I think you or someone said earlier last week, if it is just for one of the belts, that's a big sign that Drew's probably going to win.
Yeah. Then have Karrion Kross win the other one.
Yeah, and then Roman.
No, I think it was Tom actually.
Down the card.
Yeah, just straight down to the mid card. I think it was Tom on the news last week saying he could have a scenario where it was a triple threat Clash at the Castle for both titles on the line, like the Eurocontinental days back in the day. And I've sort of Karrion Kross take the fall for one of them, and then Karrion Kross take the fall for the other one, and then come up with the two big lads looking strong again.
Yeah, I mean that would be a way to do it. Elsewhere, AEW have signed another WWE superstar. This time, a former NXT star. Shortly after they confirmed the signing of Parker Boudreaux, Fightful Select have said that Ari Daivari has signed an agreement with AEW. He's been leading the Trustbusters, Ross, who are just everywhere now.
Yes, they're
they came
rich.
out of nowhere.
They're
and
filthy rich.
They're really rich, and they're on nearly every match, it seemed, over the past, like Rampage and everything. But it's now Slim J, Parker Boudreaux, Sonny Kiss, and Daivari. So Sonny Kiss has joined as well, and they made their way to Rampage this past week. Also, Fightful say they were told that Daivari produced the positively received Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunderstorm match as well, which means that he's used in kind of a dual role on screen and as a producer too.
I'm excited to see where this gimmick goes with the Trustbusters, because I saw an interesting Reddit theory. It was a thread out of theory saying that this Trustbusters gimmick was sort of a player on Tony Khan having a little bit of fun at himself, with him being the rich guy, that's Daivari, signing the former WWE guy, that was Boudreaux, using the not utilized very much like person like Sonny Kiss, and then however Slim J factors into that as well.
Okay.
So it's on Reddit if you want to read it, but I thought it was quite an interesting one. I was thinking, is Tony Khan that self-aware to produce that sort of gimmick?
I don't know.
But if he's invested, it's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Yes. Was that the same one? I read one about the name of the Trustbusters being a reference to Tony Khan being a trust fund king.
Yeah.
And then they're so rich, they bust the trust fund. They don't care.
Shahid Khan's trust.
Absolutely. Also, there was a Progress show here in Newcastle upon Tyne this past weekend. A couple of our members were there doing interviews and all that sort of thing. There will be full interviews with Big Damo and Takeshita, who's recently been in AEW, on the Cultaholic podcast feed today. Search for Cultaholic wherever you get your podcasts from. But yes, there was a new Progress champion crowned this weekend, Ross, and it's a familiar face to you and I.
Yeah, familiar face, but an unfamiliar head, because he's now big and he's bald. So it's Big Damo, formerly who had hair. He defeated Chris Ridgway to become the new Progress Wrestling champion. The first Progress title change outside of London.
Wow.
That's
Newcastle.
some sort of xenophobia from Progress there to have no title changes outside of London before this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I thought there was one like in Manchester or somewhere, but I'm guessing they were the smaller titles and the main ones never changed hands outside of London. Fraser Porter the arrogance of youth, spoke to the new champion, Big Damo, and asked him how the locker room culture had changed of progress since the pandemic. And Damo said, instead of getting in each other's way, they're all lifting each other up.
Something Fraser could do around the office here.
Yeah, maybe Damo was trying to give him some advice. He also, Ross, spoke about Triple H taking over WWE and whether that paves the way for a return for Big Damo.
Never say never, he said. I left for a reason. There was a difference in what they were looking for then. Yes, things have changed. Is it something that could happen down the line? Could we see a sanity return? Maybe. In terms of where I am right now, I can pick and choose my life. I can pick and choose my career. I can see my family on a regular basis. To be able to say no to work is very refreshing. That's something I never thought was possible. For right now, I'm very happy. But if a call happens down the line, let's hope it's for the right reasons. My goodness. There we go. I never thought sanity coming back.
I know, yeah.
They were a big highlight of the black and gold.
I'd prefer that to what Nikki's doing right now as well.
Big time.
And get Doudrop in there as well. She'd be good in Sanity, yeah.
She's got flannel shirts.
Yeah, she's done hardcore stuff.
A bit.
Yeah. Damo also talked about his passion for coaching, something that he was doing apparently in WWE around the time he was released, and something that he could still see himself doing down the line. Also, he talked about his recent work in AEW, where he was there for, as they say, a cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee.
Yes. And he said that the chance to perform for them came out of nowhere while he was doing stuff with New Japan Strong. He said it felt a lot like WWE, but without the eggshells, and that the audience feels like a takeover crowd every week because the energy's just so high.
He's such a clever guy, is Big Damo.
We've heard of
he's just keeping all of his options open, and then whoever comes to get a little fish on, like Jeremy Wade does on River Monsters, that's who'll take the bait from.
Yeah, fair play. And to be fair, I don't just think it's him thinking career-mindedly. He's also a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to burn any bridges, and I understand that.
Yeah.
Also, Fraser talked to Takeshita. Who's now everyone's favourite wrestler all of a sudden.
Because he's fantastic.
A very successful
stint in AEW. All of the
AEW.
moves perfectly all of the time.
He does. He also had that Ring of Honor World title match against Claudio Castagnoli, which was very well received too, and said he was excited to be in the UK for the first time since before the pandemic, and he wanted to return later in the year. But he also talked about generally how he felt about his time in AEW as well.
Yeah, he talked about making his debut on Dark Elevation. It was upset about the lack of reaction, which I guess is understandable because, I mean, for me at least, it was a new name back then when he was making his debut on that show. And he said he wanted to become a superstar. He said it was delighted by the live reactions, but by the end of his run, saying his favourite match was that one against Claudio for the Ring of Honor Championship at as he said, Battle of the Belts there. Battle of the Belts.
He was also asked, Fraser just being so cheeky here, asking about a possible WWE run. It's great journalism from Fraser, that, to be fair. Trying to dig underneath and see what's going on. But he shut that down quickly, did Takeshita. He said, to be honest, no, I'm not interested in WWE. The next goal is more fights in AEW, I hope. I have to go back to Japan for August and September, but I hope to go back to America in October.
Get the checkbook out, Tony Khan. If there's one sign that has to be made, it's Takeshita. I mean, there was a thing from Meltzer, wasn't there, saying that WWE were looking for a big sort of Far Eastern star. And he obviously fits the bill, so I reckon there could be a little Biddington-Warrington there.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
I think with Japanese wrestlers, it's difficult because they're always really tied to one promotion, and they might have alliances with certain other promotions, and maybe that would breach the AEW DDT. I don't know, possibly.
My God.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Doesn't want to burn those bridges, does he?
No, but I think by the time he comes back, if he does go back in October, the response this time will be much bigger.
Oh, he's earned his stripes, so he has.
He really has.
Yeah.
And we love him.
Well done, Kenny Omega. He's Kenny Omega's boy, isn't he?
Oh, really? Okay, that
So
makes sense.
brought him over there.
Well, we'll be back with more news later on as well. Do leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below on any of these stories. And stay safe out there as well. And stay lovely and positive. And we'll see you very soon.
Watch out for those thunderclaps. Thunderstorms, aren't there, today?
Oh.
Hey, get your thunder buddies ready, everybody.
I thought it was meant to be last night and just didn't happen.
It's throughout Monday. There's an hour-by-hour forecast on the Evening Chronicles website, and it's riveting viewing.
What time does it start?
I've got no idea. I didn't read it yet.
Well, we'll bring an update on that if the thunderstorms cause any difficulties. I don't know. Because they tear the building apart. And we'll see you very soon.